David Stowe, and I'm Vice Chairman of the Newtown Action Alliance. We are an all-volunteer grassroots organization of Newtown residents that was founded after the tragic mass shooting in our town last year. We are committed to working with others to reverse gun violence epidemic in America through the introduction of smarter, safer gun laws and broader cultural change. Our approach includes building bridges between many of the rural, suburban, and urban communities across America, all of whom are directly impacted by gun violence. These bridges also need to be built between all stakeholders in the gun violence conversation. That includes gun owners, non-gun owners, victims and their families, and yes, the firearms industry itself. We are here this morning to call attention to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, or NSSF, based here in the center of Newtown, Connecticut, and headquartered right behind us here. Their annual SHOT Show, which is the year's biggest trade show for the firearms industry, where they will sell and celebrate everything having to do with guns. That kicks off in Las Vegas tomorrow. They have every right to conduct business selling and promoting guns and related products. And yet we assert that with this right comes a crucial responsibility to play a positive role in finding solutions to gun violence and in mitigating the negative impacts of their products. After all, these products are used in every single act of gun violence that takes place in America, and too many citizens are paying the price. Following the horrific events at St. the NSSF had a golden opportunity to join our efforts by taking a leadership role and becoming a constructive and responsible member of the Newtown community. Instead, the NSSF chose to maintain its stance of fighting every reasonable effort toward reducing gun violence. Rather than support the enactment of background checks on private sales of firearms, the NSSF chose to prioritize profits over lives. They have done everything in their power to ensure that felons, domestic abusers, dangerously mentally ill, and terrorists have fast and easy access to guns. NSSF likes to tell us that assault weapons and military-style weapons are fabricated terms of the gun violence prevention movement. Yet in their increasingly aggressive marketing efforts, they use these very same terms to advertise and glorify these types of weapons. In a shift from their origins as promoters of tools for personal protection and hunting, more and more the industry appears to be selling dangerous military fantasies in an effort to maximize profits at all costs, regardless of the devastating consequences. The NSSF also has a dangerous history of spreading misinformation. A recent example comes from the day before Christmas this past year, when they released their own polling which purports to show that support for background checks on private sales is far less than the approximate 90% of Americans demonstrated in almost every other poll. They achieved these numbers by never actually asking that question directly, instead constructing confusing and deceptive questions designed to circumvent the real answers which they have no interest in. It seems that the NSF and too many others in the gun industry are driven by profits gained at the expense of people's safety. But this is not the way things have to be. Just this past week, Utah-based gun manufacturer Desert Tech turned down a $15 million contract to legally sell guns to Pakistan because they were fearful of the hands that those guns would fall into. We applaud Desert Tech for taking this responsible and moral decision. We are led to question why the NSSF and the rest of the industry chooses not to support actions that will keep guns out of the wrong hands here at home in America. Today, we call on the National Shooting Sports Foundation to become a responsible industry trade association in the following ways: by supporting background checks on private sales, by stopping their aggressive marketing of assault weapons, by ceasing the marketing of guns to children, and finally, taking an overall responsible and collaborative role in combating gun violence. Until the NSSF and the rest of the gun industry takes these steps and thereby assume the responsibilities that must accompany their massive accumulation of profits, we are asking that all individuals, businesses, municipalities, retirement funds, universities, and any other entities that may have holdings in the gun industry divest themselves of these interests. Every one of us has a vested interest in making our country safer for ourselves, our children, our fellow citizens, and future generations to come. Please take steps today to ensure that you are not contributing more money to the gun industry. These companies and organizations continue to profit while the heartbreak of gun violence rages on, as we all know too well here in Newtown and communities all across this country. Please do not associate yourselves with an industry that has no conscience, no sense of right or wrong.